Great that you could join me today. And I recall a number of years ago, quite a frightening time when there was sounded like terrorists were planning to blow up a number of planes in mid-year, and hopefully their hope was a cost of thousands of lives. And the thought of safety, protection. I travel a lot. I fly quite a bit around the place, so it's not the sort of thing I wanted to hear. And you have to end asking the question, I'm sure you do, just how safe is this crazy, insane, out of control world in which we live? And if you want to add to that, what's it going to be like for our kids and grandkids in 10, 20, 30 years from now? Like the deterioration seems to be pretty rapid, doesn't it? The world seems to be more and more dangerous all the time. And read the papers. Someone's getting shot, beaten up, murdered, kidnapped. I mean, add to that, the typhoons and storms and all the rest that's taking place. The world's becoming an increasingly dangerous place in which to live. And we don't just face physical danger. I know in my own Christian walk, I've found there's been seasons when the enemy of my soul, he's attacked me and he attacks you. And, there have been times where it seems like we're really under oppression, the work of the enemy. And it's very real, can be very frightening at times. So the question I want to look at and explore this week is, are there things that we can do to protect ourselves? And if there are, can you give us a few clues of what they might be? Well, let's have a go at this. So I think the first thing that we have to realize is that we've got to never forget that you're in a battle. Ephesians 6 verse 12, you know this verse, many of you. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Got to remember, there is an enemy out there, especially as Christians, but even non-Christian. He doesn't like us, and he's out to do us harm if he can. And sometimes very easy as Christians to forget that we're soldiers in the midst of this colossal battle. And you are enemy target number one. And so we're like soldiers in the middle of a war zone, and there's bullets flying all around us, invisible, but can do us incredible damage. But we can sometimes carry on as though there's no battle at all taking place. Just walk out and get up in the morning, get dressed, and off we go. And we think, hey, everything's cool. And then we wonder when something suddenly goes wrong, like, oh dear, what happened? So we've got to be aware that 1 Peter 5:8, I've mentioned this a few times, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So it says, be watchful, be diligent, be alert. Don't be neglectful in this whole area of protection. What are the things that we can do to protect ourselves? But the first thing we have to be aware of is that we are in a battle. And one of the proofs of the battle, not only physical injury, is I think at the number of Christians that are now backslidden, no longer in church. Some of them are bitter, lukewarm, not fulfilling the call of God. 2 Timothy 4 verse 7, I fought the good fight. I finished the race. I've kept the faith. These are incredible words. The words that every one of us wants to be able to say when we get to the end of our journey and our walk with God. We want to be able to say, hey, I fought the good fight. In other words, I was prepared to fight. I was prepared to get into the ring and, hey, wrestle with the enemy and, establish protections around myself. Yeah, I fought the good fight. Not every Christian can say that. Some of them just aren't willing to fight. I fought the good fight. I finished the race, so you went all the way to the end. You didn't sort of get there 3/4 of the way. Sometimes they say you got to be careful of the final lap, and because right to the end, the enemy is after us to the very last breath that we take, and then it says, "I have kept the faith." So let's make that our goal. I want to explore this whole area. How can we protect ourselves so we can say, "I fought the good fight. I finished the race. I've kept the faith."